I haven't updated my physical portfolio in 9 months. So let's sort it out together and let's talk a bit about how to organise a physical portfolio. Now, if you just want a really quick overview of how I recommend organising your portfolio, the physical one and the online one, I do have a post on my website about that, so please go read that. It'll be linked in the description if you want to find that one. But this video is going to give you a bit more in depth about my physical portfolio and what I have in it. And then I'm going to do a few other videos, I think, covering online portfolios. So by an online portfolio, I mean what you keep in a Google Drive, as well as LinkedIn, and even having a portfolio website. So that'll be a separate video. And why is having a physical portfolio important? I know most things are done online nowadays, and like I've just said, it's taken me so long to get around to actually updating my physical one. However, I do think it's really important to have a portfolio that you can hold and that you can touch, because as we know, sometimes technology isn't as reliable, and it's good to have that physical backup of everything that you've done. It's also actually really nice to look through my portfolio because I've got things in here since I was in high school. The oldest thing that I have in my portfolio is from 2014, which was 10 years ago. So it's nice to look back at all of those memories and see what I've done and how far I've come and just have a read through them all. That being said, I did keep all of my stuff in this portfolio, which I got from WH Smith. It's a 40-page display book, and it is really, really good. I love this portfolio because I think it does look a bit nicer than your standard lever arch file, which I'm going to be putting all of this stuff into. But I have unfortunately outgrown it. I sell 100 pocket display books, but even then, I think eventually, if you want to keep a portfolio for your entire career, you're probably going to outgrow that one too. And I think it's quite nice to have one portfolio, because I could have just bought another one of these, but keeping things separate means that things might get lost. So I think it's just better for me to move into one big file. Definitely if you're getting started, I think having a display book like this one is really good. Or if you just want to keep some really key things in a display book like this, that's also great, like your academic certificates, your GCSEs, your diplomas, that sort of thing. So if you want to organise your portfolio like me, I'm going to bring you along for the ride, show you what I'm using to organise my portfolio. I think it's going to take me quite a while. So I've just got this big file. I got this from Sainsbury's. It was only £1.50, and it's got a nice flowery design. I've also got some plastic wallets. I would definitely recommend using plastic wallets to keep all of your things in. Don't just put loose paper in a file. That's how things get damaged and dog-eared. So get yourself some good quality plastic wallets. I've actually got 200 more of these in the kitchen, so if I need to use them, I can go grab them. I've also got some dividers as well to organise my portfolio and just label what years things have come through. Because that's another problem of keeping things in your display book. There's not really an opportunity to put dividers and things in it, so I don't know what year things are coming from, and there's a bit of a amalgamation of things, so it's not the best organised. So yeah, I'm going to move everything from my current display book into this new folder, and then I've also printed off all of the things that I need to put in my portfolio since the last time I updated it. So if you have a look here, that's the wad of paper that I need to put into my portfolio. I thought because I'm moving to a bigger filing system, I'll be able to include a few more things into it. And I'm going to show you as I go through the types of things that I include in my portfolio. It's really useful if you have a stapler as well. So I've got a little mini one here. I'll show you what I'm going to be using this for, but some things I have PowerPoints of teaching that I've done, so I want to staple them all together to keep them in one place. But without further ado, let's get started. First, I'm going to start by filling out these labels. I think I'm going to start with number 1 being high school, number 2 as sixth form, and number 3 preclinical med school, number 4 clinical med school. I think that makes more sense than dividing it up between my years at medical school, because in years 1 and 2 I didn't do a great deal. I've done more things kind of as I've gone through. And then the good thing about this, as you go through your career, you can add F1, F2, and then your training positions and things like that. I don't have much room at my desk while I'm doing this. It's all kind of filled up, so I'm kind of squashed in a little bit. Other good thing about these dividers is that they have plastic. I don't know if you can see that, but they have plastic on the edges here, so hopefully they are a bit more damage resistant. Also good if you can get ones that are just fully plastic, because they will last longer. But these were the ones that they had in Sainsbury's, and I really just wanted to get this over and done with, so I just bought these ones, but maybe I'll upgrade in the future. I'm going to try and make my handwriting as neat as possible. It's like writing in the first page of a notebook. I want it to look pretty. Okay, so I've done the most important part. I've written my labels out. I did actually draw little lines on the paper so that I got all my writing nice and straight. But for now, I'm going to put these to the side somewhere safe where they're not going to get damaged while I'm actually filling up my portfolio. Slight change of angle because I'm stood up and I'm putting things in my file now, but I'm just going to be putting in all of these punch pockets into the file before I start moving things over. Like I said, I've got 50 of these, but I think I'm going to go through them quite quickly because my current portfolio has 40 pockets and I know that I want to spread things out a little bit more. So I think I'm going to be on to the next couple of packets quite quickly. Okay, the first 50 wallets are in, so now it's time for me to start moving things into my file. I would also recommend printing off a label to stick somewhere either inside or on the outside of your portfolio, just saying who it belongs to and a way for someone to contact you if you lose it anywhere. So I've just printed out a label saying that it belongs to me with my email and my phone number on it. So that way, if I did lose it on public transport or something like that, hopefully it will come back to me because it would be a real shame to lose all of this. That's why it is important to have an online portfolio too, to kind of back up things just in case something happens to the physical one. So before I start putting things into the new folder, I thought I'd show you what I currently have in my old portfolio. Like I said, the earliest thing I have in here is from 2014. So I have nearly dropped it. So as I said, the earliest thing I have in here is from 2014, which is my art awards certificate that I got in high school. School certificates of attendance. I've also got some of the news articles from the schools, letters that I got from teachers about stuff that I'd done while I was at high school. And I also have the feedback that I got from my very first work experience in year 9. It might have been year 10 actually. I also have all my school reports from my old teachers and my GCSE certificates. That's all the stuff from high school. And I'm going to put all of those into my portfolio and then I'll talk to you as we get to sixth form and university. And I know you might be thinking, why are you even including this stuff? It's from so long ago. But it's nice to have somewhere to keep it all, and it just builds a real nice picture of who you are as a person, who you've been, and all of your achievements today. Obviously, the things that I've done in high school are no longer really that relevant to jobs and things that I'm applying to, but it's nice to keep all of these things safe, and they are still part of my portfolio, so it's still nice to have them all in there. And by having things labelled with the file dividers, then people who aren't interested in that stuff can just skip over and go to the bits that are more relevant. Because eventually the things that I've done in medical school might not even be relevant to me in 10, 15 years' time. Something that I've just found that I completely forgot about was that I spoke in a school debating competition at the Houses of Parliament back in 2017, so 7 years ago. So these are the types of things that you see when you're going through your portfolio and you forget what you've done. Okay, so I've finished all of my things from secondary school or from high school, so I'm going to put my divider in to signal that I'm going into my sixth form portfolio now. So once again, my sixth form portfolio just includes any certificates that I got whilst I was at sixth form, things like that, my A-level certificates, and I think I also have my university acceptance email from UCAS printed out as well for my records. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of that in my portfolio, and then finally we'll be at university, which I think is going to be the biggest task of them all because I've got the most things from there. Okay, now we are on to university. The divider has gone in, and it's time for me to start going through all my uni stuff. Now, the problem with my uni stuff is that it's actually not in date order, which is really annoying for myself to not have done that. But the good thing about having a file like this as compared to the display book is that I can easily just move the plastic wallets around to put them in the right place. Now, the types of things that are in my uni portfolio are a bit different to what's in my high school and sixth form portfolio. So sorts of things that I do have in my uni portfolio includes certificates for any prizes that I've won, and then I have certificates for any events that I've attended, so things like conferences, things that I've presented at, as well as other teaching sessions and things. And the teaching session certificates are mainly preclinical. I'm still going to put those in my portfolio because that's something that I did and shows an academic interest. So I'm going to pop them in my portfolio. And then kind of since third year, I've been gathering feedback from different presentations that I've done, teaching sessions, that sort of thing. And the way that I display that information is in a feedback summary. So I think I'll do a whole video about how I develop a feedback summary to put in my portfolio. But essentially, whenever you're doing any sort of teaching presentation, anything like that, it's really great if you can get some feedback, because then you can put it in your portfolio as a way of showing that you've done it, and you can also say how you improved on your skills following the feedback that you got too. So I have feedback from teaching sessions, I have feedback from staff that I've been involved in, and I also have all of my letters of recommendation from staff members too. So even if it's for something that's not really relevant to whatever I'm applying to, I've still got those letters in there to show that I've had support from staff in the past. I've also printed off PowerPoints that I've used in my teaching to show people the different types of teaching that I've done. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I just think it's nice to have all of those things in one place, just if anyone asks for examples of what you've done previously. So yeah, like I said, the main thing in here that's different is the summaries of feedback. All the other things are kind of self-explanatory. You can just print off a PowerPoint or any certificates that you've got. But I am going to make a quick video explaining how I make a feedback summary. It's really not too in-depth. It doesn't take ages depending on how much data that you have to deal with. I also do these feedback summaries just for the societies that I'm on after we've done events, so that we can see where to improve in the future. I'm going to put all the things from university into this folder. You saw the massive amount of stuff that I printed off today that need to go in there, and I've still got quite a few things previously that need to go in here too. So I'm going to put all of these things in together, organise them into pre-clinical and my clinical years, and then hopefully next time I won't leave it 9 months to update my portfolio again. I'll try to do it a bit more regularly. I am done. Here is my portfolio. This isn't all full. The last kind of third of it is all plastic wallets for when I want to expand it, but it is heavy, but it's got everything in here from high school all the way up to 4th year of medical school. I think I'm really going to try and make an effort of trying to update this as I get things. Probably not going to happen. So I'm going to aim to update it every couple of months, I hope, maybe even monthly. I don't really have an excuse not to, it's just pure laziness. But yes, I've organised all my portfolio now, and it feels good to have that done and have it all in one place, but it is really heavy. So yeah, there we go. I hope this video has been at least a little bit useful for you. That is how I organise my portfolio and why it's important to have a physical portfolio, if anyone was kind of curious. I am going to do a couple more videos which might be a bit more useful, actually showing what goes into creating a portfolio and an online portfolio, that sort of thing. So keep your eyes peeled for those. I'm going to be talking about how to use LinkedIn to your advantage, all of those sorts of things, because I wish I'd known all of this when I started medical school. I'm glad I had the foresight to even have a portfolio that I kept all of my GCSE certificates and things in, because it's so easy for things to get missing, especially when you're at uni or you're moving around. You might be moving every year. So it's good to have one big folder where you keep everything. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to know more about portfolio, more about opportunities at medical school, conferences, all of those sorts of things, then please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, you can leave a comment down below, or you can find me on Instagram at Aisia Lea Med.